Hello, my name is Chloe, welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you my NEWTs TBR. So I took part in the Owls back in whenever it was, April? That's really bad that I can't remember. I have no idea. Yeah, it was April, I'm not going crazy. But I've got some notes here to talk you through what I did then, what I'm going to do now, the career. So I've got my actual notes, and then I've got the Wizarding Careers guidebook that G has made, and I still stand by that it is the best thing I've seen. Like free printable Harry Potter wise, even if this wasn't a reading challenge, like it's just insanely cool. And then the letter from McGonagall for the NEWTs with the subjects. So when we did the Owls, I passed 8 of the 12 subjects. I got Charms, Defence Against the Dark Arts, Muggle Studies, Ancient Runes, Arithmetic, Divination, History of Magic and Potions. So that's quite impressive. And I did that because the career I was going for was a Charms professor. And now, if I look through my booklet, so you needed 7 hours in total, the subjects you want to teach, Defence Against the Dark Arts, and then 5 additional subjects of your choice. So I actually did 6 of my choice, but that was the minimum, so that's all fine. So for the NEWTs, I have to get an O in the subject I wish to teach. I can't speak, I'm too excited. Which is Charms, an E in Defence Against the Dark Arts, and at least 2 A's in the secondary subjects of your choice. So I have the prompts written down and I have all my choices here to show you. So first, Charms, as I want to be a Charms professor. So I have to get an A, an E and an O, as you can't just get the O, you have to do the A and the E first. So that means 3 books for the Charms prompt. The first one being a book that I think has a gorgeous cover, and I've gone for a book that a lot of people actually read during the Owls, and that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I think we can all agree that this, even just the cover, is gorgeous, but when you add this spine, that is just the most beautiful book you've ever seen. This is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and I've heard that one of the characters has cerebral palsy, which is like, that's insanely cool representation to have in a book like this. I could be wrong and be embarrassing myself, but this is potentially the most gorgeous book I've seen. It had a lot of hype towards the start of the year, so I've waited until that's died down a little bit and then we'll see what I really think of it. But yeah, very excited to pick this one up, as it's been on my shelf for a little while now after I convinced my mom to buy it me when we went on a shopping trip, because even she thought this spine was cool. The next prompt is to read a comic, graphic novel or manga, or if you don't have access to any of those or don't like any of those, to read a book under 150 pages. So I typically don't read comics and graphic novels, but we found one. So Will has a couple of Deadpool comics, quite big ones sometimes, like the big bumper pack things. But I thought I'd take it easy on myself for this challenge, as I have quite a lot of books I need to read. And I found Deadpool versus Hitler. This is a genuine thing. What? But this is just a very short little comic and it looks really cool. It's mainly just this, I don't even really know what's in here, but they've said, okay, this is a weird one. Just when I thought we'd completely run out of old inventory issues of Deadpool, we could run, we stumbled upon this crazy gem. Because Deadpool versus Hitler. Jesus Christ. So yeah, this will be just a quick sit down and flick through, but I have never read it. This is new, it's a comic, it fits the prompt, and yeah, who wouldn't want to read that? Next we have Spongify, which is the softening charm, and that is to read a paperback book. I've gone for one I bought fairly recently, and that is Breaking Him by R.K. Lilly. This is in my June book haul. This is an adult steamy romance by the sounds of it. It's actually a very big book. I'm regretting this choice straight away because the text is absolutely tiny. But yeah, it fits the prompt of paperback. It's not quite, it's quite floppy, but it's the like bright white pages, looks freshly printed style book. Yeah, know nothing really about this apart from the fact it's like some sort of steamy adult romance. So I thought that would be a quick read to throw in to the readathon. I haven't said that this goes for the whole month of August. I've just sort of presumed that everyone knows everything about the NEWTs and the owls and the magical readathon and blah, 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 blah. So I might have to just put some details in the description because we're too far into the video now to explain everything. I'm sorry, I'm rubbish at this. But it's the whole month, so that's why I can get away with reading so many books, I hope. The next, that is all of Charms. So we've got A Cursed, Dark and Lonely, the Deadpool versus Hitler comic, and Breaking Him. So now I need to get an E in Defense Against Dark Arts, so I need to get an A and an E to get the E. The first one to read a book that is black under the dust jacket, and I've gone for Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. And just to prove that I'm not lying, here is the plain black hardback book. So I don't really have a lot of hardbacks. We are sat on the floor right now, and this is there's only one shelf underneath this, and this is where my hardbacks start, and then that's it, they're finished. So don't really have many hardbacks to pick from. I've heard very, very mixed things about this book, but any Lauren Oliver I've read before has been very, very quick to read. So even though this is a fairly big book, the text is huge on the pages, and I'm sure it's going to fly by. It's a thriller, so, I mean, it's got to go quick, right? Because I'm supposed to want to know what's going to happen. But yeah, this says, I'll just read you a bit of information because I've realised I'm rubbish at explaining these books. And it says, 5 years ago, when I was 12 years old, I killed my best friend. Owen, Mia and me, Bryn, the monsters of Brickhouse Lane, the child killers. That's the story the way everyone tells it, at least a story repeated so many times, accepted by so many people, it has become fact. Never mind that we didn't do it. I like this even more now I've read that. I pretty much picked it up because it was Lauren Oliver and it looked cool. But yeah, that's very intriguing, and this fits my A for Defense Against Dark Arts. So the E was actually a very cool book, a prompt to do. So in G's announcement video, she explained that you needed a piece of paper and a pen when she announced this. So if you are picking your TBR and you haven't actually heard this yet, please do it right, because this completely shaped my TBR. I wanted this to go somewhere else, but I'd already put it down for this prompt. And that is, it's Gilderoy Lockhart. We know Lockhart's memory in Chamber of Secrets is not perfect. So this is to, off the top of your head, pick the first book you can think of, and that is it. That's what you're reading. So mine is actually All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. This was in my head at the time because it's from my June book haul, and I was just, I'd had a conversation with someone about how I thought I'd already read it but wasn't sure. So I guess we're going to find out if I've already read it, because I'm reading that in the NEWTs. So this, it feels like I've only just explained this because that video was not that long ago. But it says, Theodore Finch wants to take his own life. Violet Markey is devastated by her sister's death. They meet on the ledge of the school bell tower, and so their story begins. This sounds very intriguing. I'm positive I must have read it before, but I'm thinking I had it from the library and just never got to it because it just sounds so familiar. But yeah, this is the first book that came to my head, so I'm reading it. So now I need 2 A's in additional subjects of my choice. I have picked 2, but this can change because it's not a specific subject that I need. The first one being Muggle Studies, and the prompt for an A in Muggle Studies is a cover that has an actual photo element on it. So I've gone for a book I'm very excited to read, and that is The Kissing Booth by Beth Reckles. The photo element's sort of obvious here because it's just a picture from the Netflix film. With all the characters and palm trees and a car and whatever. So this is what counts as an actual photo element. So it could be a person, a plant, whatever, it's real. So yeah, Kissing Booth, if you don't know anything about it, you need to watch the film on Netflix because it is probably my most watched thing on Netflix. It is about a girl who falls in love with her sister's brother. And that is pretty much it. But it is amazing. I love it. I can't wait to see if I love the book as much as the film. The next subject I've picked is Ancient Runes, and that is the thing I can never pronounce, so I will try and put it on the screen or something for you, and that is Ehwaz? It's E-H-W-A-Z. No idea. But that is the partnership rune. So this is the rune that Hermione famously gets wrong, and she puts defense instead of partnership. Is that the right way around? Something like that. But that is where this rune has come from. And that is to read a book picked by a friend. So I'm taking part in a travelling book club over, so August will be my 3rd month doing that. Yeah, that's right. So I'm just waiting on that book to actually arrive, and that is The Dollmaker of Krakow, or Krakow, I never know the correct way to pronounce that, by R.M. Romero. This has been picked by a lovely lady called Harriet. I can't wait to read it. She loved it. I'm pretty sure the lady who read it after her loved it. So this is a book I have to read and annotate with my thoughts as I do. So I've definitely got to do that in August. So Ancient Runes is solidly on my TBR. But yeah, it's quite a complicated, this isn't what I'd usually read, it's quite intense, but I have been to, we're going to say Krakow, I think it's Krakow. I have been there, I loved it. Obviously, I think this is more of a historical fiction, but I've been there, so let's hope that I can have a sort of image of what it's like. But yeah, I'm very excited to read it because it's not my cup of tea, so I won't spoil my July wrap-up, but a book that another lady in the group sent me, I really did not like, but the experience of reading a book, adding your comments, responding to someone else's comments, I found very, very fun. So for The Dollmaker of Krakow, I am sort of excited. What is the word? Cautiously excited, I'm going to say. I think I've made that up, but that'll do. Then planned the other 4 subjects that I don't necessarily need to do, but would like to get an A in all of the subjects that I did pass at OWS level. The first one being Arithmetic, and that is to read a book that finishes on an even numbered page. I have gone for Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell because I've been trying to read this book for ages. I used to have a copy, it was stolen. We're not going into that again. You can watch my crying vlogs for that. Yeah, it was stolen. I've got a new copy. I still haven't read it. And it let me just check that it definitely finishes on an even page. So ignoring the acknowledgements and stuff, I took it. It doesn't. Oops. Okay, now that my brain works and I've seen that Eleanor and Park actually ends on an odd page, even if I include the acknowledgements, it's still an odd page. So I've picked a new book and I've gone for Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmerer. So I'll be reading 2 Bridget Kemmerer books. I've also never ever heard a bad word about this book, ever. So as far as I'm aware, it's about a girl whose mom has died and she leaves letters at her mother's grave and somebody starts responding to them, is what I have picked up. I'm hoping that's right. I think there's some sort of email exchange going on, but it just sounds absolutely adorable. I've never heard a bad word. I did look through some other books on my shelves I was tempted to pick up, but they actually all ended on odd numbers. So here we go. We finally got a book. I will update my little TBR tracking spreadsheet I have, because damn it. Next is Divination, and that is to read a white book. I have gone for If I Stay by Gail Foreman. Even though this has got photos on the front, it's mainly white, I'm sure we can all agree. This is a little book. It's only tiny. It is, I want to find out now. Okay, I actually can't find the end of the story. So it is only 210 pages long. Oh look, an even number. Never mind. But yeah, it's a little story. I've never watched the film and I'm really tempted to, so I'd like to read the book before I get to the film. So this is my A for Divination. Next is History of Magic, and to get an A in that you have to read a fantasy. I have gone for Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. This is the, was it called the Forbidden Book, I think, in G's video. So you can use this for any prompt whatsoever and completely ignore the prompt and read this to get the grade. It does fit this prompt to read a fantasy, and I didn't have that many more fantasies I really wanted to get to in August. So I only ever heard good things about this from Jade at JD Ray Reads. The end pages are so cool. It's so red. The cover is gorgeous. I love it. Not more I can say about this. Don't know anything about it. It's cool. It's been hyped up so much by Jade that I need to read it. And a lot of people will be reading this as the Forbidden Book. So it'd be nice to be able to join in on those discussions throughout the month on what we think of this book. So yeah, that's the main reason I'm picking this. And lastly, the 8th owl that I passed was Potions. So to get an A in Potions NEWTs, it is a polyjuice potion prompt, and that is to read your friend's favourite book. I seriously cannot speak. For that, I've gone for The Selection by Kira Cass. This is one of Brittany at the Neverending Reader's favourite books of all time. It was described as a trashy dystopian book, but lovely at the same time. So I can't wait to read it. That is definitely my sort of thing. like going back and reading Divergent, and I'm trying to think of other examples. Nope, that's all I've got. Let's just say Divergent. My brain is fried. It's all too Harry Potter and I'm loving it. But yes, I'm going to read the selection. Don't really know what it's about, just that it is dystopian, written quite a few years ago, so it's likely to be very tropey, which I'm excited for, like seriously. So those are all the books I'm planning to read. There are a lot here. I'm going to try and hold them. So, wow, this is heavy. These are all the books, plus The Doll Maker of Krakow and the selection, which I'm going to read on my Kindle. Look at this. It's actually hurting my arm. Right, we're putting that down. Again, as I said with the owls, I am so grateful for G for putting in such an effort with this readathon. I have so much fun doing it. I only started participating with the magical readathon at Christmas with the Christmas at Hogwarts. So then from doing that to doing the owls, now doing my NEWTs, it feels like such an accomplishment. I'm really sad I missed the first year, but I'm getting fully into it now to make up for it. So I am going to do weekly vlogs through the whole of August for the NEWTs so that you can see my life. August is going to be very interesting. I am going to spend some days in Wales with my boyfriend's family. So they live down there, so we're going to go and stay for a couple of days. I'm also starting a new job because today, the day I'm filming this, was actually my last day of my current job. So in August, I'll be starting my new job. What else is happening? Something else is happening. No, I can't remember. Never mind. I'm sure there's something exciting that I'll remember. But it's completely gone from my head right now. So let's ignore that. Yeah, it's gone. But yeah, so August is going to be great. I'm going to be doing weekly vlogs so you guys can see my life if you really want to. I'm sure the people who watch those vlogs actually do care about my life now. And that is hi to you, Lauren, Brittany, Catherine. Pretty much covers it, I think. So you guys will be seeing weekly vlogs and you will appreciate them, I'm sure. But that is all for this video. Thank you for watching. I will link G's announcement video to the NEWTs if you have somehow seen this and not seen her video, so you can go and check it out and get all the information. But again, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.